Hi there, how are we doing?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah,
My name is
nice to
Bruno.
meet you. Yeah,
I've seen you on YouTube. I've seen other people as well, but that's why I came. Try to get involved more. Do you know of any network by any chance where people like me could just get a little bit more involved to learn? Because obviously there's books anywhere you can read books.
yeah.
But
So
it's
let
good
me
to have teachings and structure.
Okay, so let me try let me give you some advice.
Yeah.
Firstly, are you prepared to lose your job?
Yes.
Are you prepared to lose your career?
Yes. I don't really have a career.
Okay, great.
But
Are you happy to be villainized?
I don't mind.
Okay.
I have been in my life, so-
And have you prayed and discerned that God is wanting you to do evangelism here?
Can you?
Have you prayed and discerned that God is calling you to do evangelism here?
I'm not certain.
Okay.
I'm not certain.
So my first...
I know that I'm drawn to God. I know I'm drawn to the truth.
Yeah.
I know that I'm drawn to the problems of this world between good and evil, holiness and wickedness, death and resurrection. It's something that is really important to me. But
Yeah.
is this what I'm supposed to do with my life?
Yeah. So
Sorry to interrupt. Sorry. Big fan. Keep up the good work.
no worries, bro.
Good stuff.
God bless you. Keep in
That's it.
touch.
Yeah, well done. Thank you very much. You did well over there with those.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Take care, Bob.
So God bless. So my advice to you would be this: is that you need to discern whether God is calling you to this, because there are real problems with doing evangelism here that impact your life.
I know.
Right now, if you feel after doing a discernment that you feel God is coming here to work with you, I want to advise you, firstly, there's no real network of Christians here.
No.
Right? There are Christians that come here independently that kind of back one another up and support one another up.
Okay.
Right? And we kind of hang out. And there are some informal things that kind of spring out on the back of this. Right? If you want to connect with the Christians that do this, you just got to be with us when we leave the park, and you start to meet people and you'll start to see who are the regulars, and then you'll start to connect with us. And I would advise you to do that if you feel that this is where God is calling you to do evangelism. To stay with your brothers and sisters, to learn with them so that we can support and encourage one another, and so that we don't become isolated from one another. Yeah?
Yeah.
And you know, if you are going to come and do evangelism here, there are three things that you need. You need to be emotionally stable.
Yes.
Right? You shouldn't be coming here because you want to make friends,
No.
or you shouldn't be coming here because you want to belong to something, or you shouldn't be coming here because you want to find a wife, or because you want to you want fame, you want to be seen and you want to be known. Don't come here if those are your reasons for coming here. You should come here because you're secure in all who you are, and come here because you believe God has called you to do evangelism. That's the first thing you need. Emotional stability. The second thing you need is intellectual wit. You've got to study, and you've got to know your arguments, and you've got to know your apologetics. Right? Right, that's something else that you need to come here.
That's the place where I'm
And the
lacking.
third thing that you need is, my advice to you is learn how to defend yourself. Because very often physically, because the police aren't protecting us. They don't care about protecting us. They let us get attacked every week. They let people get away with crimes here every week. And so as Christians, we just got to protect ourselves.
Yeah, I've seen it before you came. Actually.
Yeah, everybody knows it who's watched these videos for long enough. So my advice is learn to protect yourself, because when you need the police, they won't be there. And when you go to the police, they'll make excuses. So you've just got to be able to protect yourself, right? So start training physically. We need people in the park who are emotionally secure, mentally intelligent, and physically strong, or at least physically able to defend themselves. Any other questions?
I mean, we can talk about. It was let's different things if you want to, because
Yeah.
you give me your advice and that.
Yeah.
So good. So that's what I needed. So I'll stay
Yeah.
and mingle after. I'd like to come back to the question of the Gehenna and the soul. I come from a denomination where we don't believe in the dissociation between soul and body,
Go on. Yeah.
and so as far as we're concerned, there's nobody in hell or nobody in heaven now,
Yeah.
unless they've been resurrected by God or taken away without death, as we know happened for Enoch, for example.
Yep.
I would like to know, how do you justify this notion of the soul according to the scripture, and what is your position?
Well, I mean, yeah, you kind of asked the wrong question in the wrong order there, because you begged the question. You said, how do you justify assuming my position? And my position isn't definite, to be honest. Okay. I have a fluid position on this question, because I haven't studied it enough to come to a solid conclusion myself. I think that there is a difference between, however we use the term, whether we use spirit or soul, I understand it in a sort of material sense, that there's a thing that is materially spirit or materially body. And then there's this other thing that, for instance, I'll just call soul, which is what we might call the emotional, psychological and willful self. And that emotional, psychological or willful self, I believe, continues. I believe it continues because Christ said it continues. When he said to the man on his left-hand side, "This day you will be with me in paradise." And so there's obviously a distinction between the body and the you that will be with them in paradise, and I think that that's where we find the soul. Just not that it matters, because I'm not denominational, but what tradition are you coming from?
Seventh Adventist.
Okay, I thought so, yeah.
The way we enter...
By the way, I'm not interested in convincing you on this.
It's totally fine.
And also,
okay.
I don't want to entertain this conversation too much, because while me and you are talking about this non-controversial issue, there's a lot of non-Christians out here to be talking to.
So do you want to reserve that for later, perhaps?
Yeah, really,
it's okay.
Because I just don't, here
okay.
in the park, I don't think it's worth getting into.
It's okay.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, I respect your position, and
That's
and I'm open to it. I haven't made my own mind up, but I think as Christians we need to focus on evangelism.
Yeah, I think so. Well, thank you again.
Yeah, stick close to the brothers.
I'll stay here.
We usually finish about 6:30. So if you want to come with us, you're more than welcome. How are we doing?
For sure.
How are we doing, big guy? You all right? Back to my question. Back to my question about the Quran. See how they run. See how they run.